look at this special tandem on a Friday with
a whole lot of good looking.
Back. That's right. Two handsome men that may or may not be 5'7", 5'6". Here we are, the PHNX Bets Daily Podcast, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook. Be sure to like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your podcasts. Johnny Venerable, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Espo of PHNX Suns fame. And man, oh man, we're going to talk about tonight's matchup, but we got to talk, Mr. Espo, about the breaking news that just occurred. Kyrie Irving now wants out of Brooklyn officially. They wanted him out once upon a time. Then they welcomed him back. Now he's playing and having a great year, and he says, F you, I want to leave because I'm a free agent at the end of the year. Well, what does this mean? I got the man here to ask for a potential trade for Kyrie. Kevin Durant, does he become a factor? What do you think from a Suns perspective this does to their trade deadline proposition?
Well, let me first just say this flat out. This makes a deadline that was supposed to be crazy, complete and utter insanity. Mm-hmm. Because you asked while we were off camera, does Kyrie have the leverage here? Well, yeah, he is basically saying, if you want, I will not be resigning here. So even if you want me back, I won't be coming back. So if you want to get something in return for me, now's the time to do it, right? So the question is, does he have the power to push his way to where he wants to go? I'd imagine so, because all he has to say to the team giving up something is, I won't re-sign with you, right? And that will lower the price that the Nets are going to get for him. So Phoenix has the assets. Phoenix is looking for the answer to Chris Paul. After Chris Paul, they're looking for something to help them win a title this year. I don't know. It becomes quite interesting. Now, this is all obviously not taking into account what happened off the court with Kyrie, or what's happened multiple times off the court with Kyrie. But from a basketball perspective, you start connecting the dots and you go, it might be something that could make some sense.
Let me ask you this, Espo, the financials of it. Could the Suns incur Chris Paul and Kyrie's salary for the rest of the year? Is that something that's tangible as a novice like myself? Because again, I asked you off air, would Chris Paul have to agree to be dealt back to Brooklyn, or could you make it something where it's feasible that both could coexist financially and on the court for the rest of this season?
I mean, honestly, this broke as I sat down here, so I haven't looked at any trade machines or salary cap breakdowns. I think there is a way to do it without trading Chris Paul, but you have to wonder, okay, does it make any sense? Because either Chris Paul or Kyrie Irving would have to come off the bench. I don't see that happening unless you started Chris Paul. Kyrie Irving may book a small forward and put Cam Johnson on the bench. I don't know. But there's paths. There's multiple paths, I think, if the Suns are interested in this, and if this is the big move that a Matt Ishbia wants to make happen. So financially, there are paths. It makes a lot of sense because the Suns have to do something with the expiring contracts they have to be able to bring in a guy that either has a contract or that they can sign with their or under the cap, even though they're going to be over the cap, if that makes sense. You have to have a guy in for these expiring contracts this year. Otherwise, you can't sign somebody to go further over the cap. Your salary cap restricted, and you'll only have a mid-level exception next year. So they have to make a move with an eye to the present and an eye to the future. I don't know if this is the one, but James Jones did say something about interesting names potentially the other day. Well, it doesn't get more interesting than Kyrie Irving.
He's only 30 years old, too. I always think he's older because he's been in the league since he was like 12, and he was on Duke for 1 year, and he immediately went to Cleveland and became a star.
There's some thoughts that usually 70 and 80-year-olds have.
Right. Not my cup of tea off the court, but certainly on the court, 27 points per game this season would put the Suns right back where they need to be in the landscape of the Western Conference. And we'll see if the Suns ownership takes, changes hands here where they can make a move before the deadline of note. If you want to make a move, you can do it with our friends on the DraftKings Sportsbook. We're going to be talking about the game tonight on DraftKings, but just ahead of Super Bowl 57, Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code PHNX. Get this. New customers can bet $5, a mere 5 spot on Super Bowl 57. Get $200 back in free bets if they do. The props are absolutely insane right now, from Gatorade colors to coin flips, first half props, second half, whatever you want to do. And you don't have to wait to make the bet until Super Bowl Sunday. You can do it right now, mañana, whenever you want to do it, ahead of the big game. But you got to remember, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code PHNX. This is for first-time customers, new customers to DraftKings. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See those show notes for it detailed. It's void in Ohio, by the way. My DraftKings pick of the week, and we're going to talk about our picks right now. And it's my money line pick, baby. Love the Phoenix Suns tonight. We're talking about the Suns ahead of the trade deadline. Big emotional loss to Atlanta. They laid the bed, right? They laid an egg. They shit the bed against the Atlanta Hawks the other day. What did the Celtics do? They blew out the Brooklyn Nets. One big emotional win, one big emotional loss equals an upset. An upset on the road, plus 330 tonight, Espo. Give it to me. I also like the under. I think as hot as the Celtics were the other night, that's how cold I think they're going to be. So my DraftKings pick of the week, Suns money line in what I think is going to be their biggest upset win of the season.
Did you fall on your head, Johnny?
No, I don't watch enough Suns basketball like you to be cynical. So now I get to be hopeful instead.
You can be hopeful all you want, but I don't think you're winning that bet. What
about your bet? Hit me with yours.
I'm waiting for it to come on the screen because I've lost myself in Kyrie thought, so I don't know. I don't remember what my bet was. Oh yeah, I'm taking the Suns +9 tonight. I don't think they're going to win the money line, but I look at this point spread and I lick my chops a little bit. I think they'll probably lose, but it won't be by more than 6 tonight. So I'm going to take that +9.
I wanted to be competitive. In the show notes before PHNX Bets Daily, I said, can they keep it competitive? And then I talked myself into, this is a Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson kind of game where I think they're going to go off. I think we're going to get 2 20-plus point games from each of them. We're going to see Chris Paul. Chris Paul, here's his name, and some Kyrie Irving trade rumors, lights a fire under him, goes out and has his best game. There's just too much, I think, good stuff coming tonight where this game's going to be close. And when I can get plus money on a singular NBA game that involves a team over 500 as an underdog, I'm going to take that every step of the time. Let's go ahead and look at my props for tonight. They are in this same game, and they are involving the aforementioned Chris Paul, over 8.5 assists at -135. But that's not where my big shot is. My big shot, DA, 1 3-point attempt. I bet he gets it tonight, and he hits it. Plus 550 from the perimeter. Get the big man out on the edge. I'm looking to hit some home runs. I'm not nickel and diming the peeps like my better half, Shane Diefenbach, would do. He's looking for singles. He's looking for a bunt single on a Friday. I am looking for a grand slam, and I'm going to get it with DA. He's going to hit a 3-pointer tonight at plus 550. Espo, the NFL season is just about done, and this is usually the time that I do a first touchdown bet. And I've been known to hit them once in a while. So this is my equivalent of a first touchdown is DA with a 3 tonight.
Yeah, you were talking about bunt singles and grand slams, but I think you're getting a golden sombrero. I think you're that's worth 4 strikeouts right there.
Yeah.
So I don't see DA hitting the 3. He hasn't taken one in a while, but I at plus 550, I wouldn't be afraid to dabble in it. And I think you're right on the Chris Paul over on assists there. So I think you're in good hands there on that. Mine, I actually believe I have Chris Paul in mine as well here. Yep, it's over 4.5 rebounds at a plus 125. Now you may be thinking, Chris Paul, a point guard and rebounds? Are you an idiot, Espo? Well, no, I'm not an idiot because 4 to 5 of his last games, he's had 5 or more rebounds. So I'm playing the odds here. I think it's going to be 5 out of 6 games he does it. And I'm going to take that sweet plus 125.
Proud of you. I love that bet. I think Chris Paul's going to have a big game tonight. This is new from Woj. There were some talks on a new deal for Irving with the Nets, but no deal was reached, and a trade request was delivered to the organization today. Sources tell ESPN, of course, Kyrie Irving can leave the franchise this summer as a free agent. Do the Suns, out of sheer, I guess, respect for their fan base, need to sidestep any attempt by the Lakers for Kyrie Irving? Do you think the Suns owe their fan base, like, we need to be involved just so the Lakers, who are a fringe team, cannot come and steal Kyrie Irving? Do you feel like a block is needed?
This whole thing is complicated, right? Because you also have to take into consideration Kyrie off the court. I mean, look, if this is pure basketball, you take Kyrie 9 out of 10 times here, because it puts you right in the conversation as one of the top contenders in the West. But you got to think about the off the court, and then, do you want to make a move so the Lakers can't make a move? Because the Lakers with Kyrie all of a sudden become a real threat in the West.
Are they better than the Suns? Are they better than the Suns?
It depends. If the Suns don't make any moves outside outside of something small with Jay Crowder, then I think that would make the Lakers better than you, especially if you have to face them in the playoffs. So I mean, that's a big thing, but this is very, very, very complex. Yeah.
They're going to have more information later on today. The PHNX Suns show, you can catch it. The pregame, I believe, is 5 p.m. with my guy Espo.
It is. I better get prepared for that. That's only we got like 4 hours and 45 minutes. I better start looking at stuff, huh? I think I have another bet, by the way, Johnny. Am I allowed to show that?
Do you have another bet?
I have another bet. Look at this. I'm going a little parlay action, if you will. I'm going to go Celtics money line, Jason Tatum plus 30 plus points, Jaylen Brown 20 plus points at a plus 155. Take that tasty nugget to the bank and enjoy your weekend.
I love it. I'm sorry I cut you off.
All right.
Here's what I'm not going to cut off. Our GM Saul Bookman in studio with Eddie Johnson. Ever heard of him? I bet they might talk about this Kyrie situation and how that would affect the Phoenix Suns. Check that out. PHNX Cardinals is on standby until, God help us, we get some breaking news. We could go live today. We're going to go live this weekend regardless. Check us out. Subscribe to PHNX Sports on YouTube. Mr. Espo, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, what are Vance Joseph's odds to get the coaching job right now? Like a minus 125?
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to my fan base, my people. These are your people in the chat. These are the Suns people. Don't laugh at me. We're not getting Vance Joseph. If anything, maybe he'd stay on as defensive coordinator. But right now, you can't get those on DraftKings. God, football gods help us.
Johnny, how much would it feel like your nether regions are being used as a speed bag if Brian Flores goes to be the defensive coordinator up in Denver, and then you get Vance Joseph as your head coach here?
It would be literally all the good that they have done. It would literally be the worst thing that's ever happened to me as a person.
Johnny,
and I would have to move out from my house and hide in a cave.
Prepare. I'll go find a nice cave for you. I'll get my agent looking for one for you.
I've already got Zach Stevens from DMVR touting that, and I'm like, Zach, I can't even look at you next week at Super Bowl week. You're so spoiled and selfish. Give us something, please. Give us a subscribe, like this show, review it wherever you get your podcasts. We did it. We held the fort down for that fraud, Shane Diefenbach. He will be back next week. It's Super Bowl week. We got plenty of bets on tap. In the meantime, check them out at Espo. I'm at Johnny Venerable. Have a great weekend, everybody.